Bradley has been seeing what every person is doing in Portugal. It's all been a sort of life there. In the 60s, many young men chose to leave rather than face the nationalist insurgencies which were going on in Portugal's colonies in Angola, Mozambique and Guinea-Bissau. And many men and women fled the dictatorship of General Salazar to find new lives in France and Germany and elsewhere in Europe. But why, after the early promise and relative prosperity of European Union membership, is Portugal seeing such emigration from its shores now? Northern Portugal is extraordinarily beautiful. With beauty does it fill hungry mouths. I've been staying in Setnonia, a hamlet high in the cell of the Alban. The terrace land round the village, once planted with vegetables and fruits, lies mostly fallow now. The settlement itself comprises a few posh houses and a number of tumble-down old ones. At the foot of the hill was a little village, where the bar had a surprisingly large restaurant behind it. It was a bit on the late side, but the landlady was still happy to serve. And indeed, not long afterwards, a large party speaking a mixture of French and Portuguese followed me in. Goat stew was the day's speciality, so I ordered it. And while waiting, I began to scan for the locally grown fruit displayed on a nearby table. To avoid disgracing myself by pinching some, I went off to look at a mini museum at the far end of the dining room. There was a rustic shepherd's cloak made of straw, a number of pots and crops, baskets, walking sticks, and some implements used in making linen. The stew came. It was delicious, and cooked to a quantity and with the calories to support a labourer who'd spent all day tilling the mattock. Before the dessert, I went to look at a scrapbook, written by pupils at the local primary school some 25 years ago. One page had a farming calendar, an endless round of hard manual labour, tilling the land, sowing crops, pruning vines, picking olives, cutting flax, and beating it to release the fibres. So the year turned, and it started all over again. Another page entitled "Os nossos immigrants," our immigrants, had children's drawings of absent family. Looking at the book with me, the restaurant owner described a hand-to-mouth existence, growing crops on steep hillsides where automation was impossible. Food depended on how much land the villager had and how good a farmer he was. It was often scarce and people were stunted then. When I first visited Portugal, at 1 meter 56, I was average height. How many people have emigrated from the village, I asked. 90%, she said. I thought I'd misheard. But I hadn't. Over the years, 90% had gone. First, one bright entrepreneurial young man left and wrote reports for better life. Others followed, sending back money, which explains the posh houses. Little by little, the village emptied. Remember that group that came in after me? They were immigrants, driving French-registered cars. Will they keep on returning? What do you think? The young, already perfect French, aren't interested in the subsistence life. The whole countryside is losing out. Small mountain villages are populated mostly by the old and infirm. When they die, or are decided to leave, the houses deteriorate and the land returns to scrub. Some villages are already deserted. Poverty, austerity, and the lack of opportunities drive the young overseas. But it isn't only the young. On the plane home, I spoke to a middle-aged Portuguese woman, all alone and with rudimentary English. She was on her way to the northern city of Leeds to become a care worker, taking a course costing her for her gigantic sum of $1,000. Husbandless, there was no way she could provide for her family, so the grandparents were looking after the children, while she ventured north to a cold, wet foreign city in the hope of a better life. Superficially, the settled Alban looks stunning, but close up, it's clear that there's an emptiness at its heart. And it's not alone. This story